There are only a few sneakers out there that get me this excited to review and own, and I've got one of those sneakers in hand. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm going to review and actually wipe the paint off the Air Jordan 1 SB in the Lakers and Chicago colorway. The Air Jordan 1 High SB in the Lakers colorway drops on May 25th for $175, and I grabbed this pair off GOAT specifically to give you guys an early review and actually see what it looks like when you wipe off the paint. There's also a white and gray colorway or a light bone colorway dropping with the same wear away paint that reveals a different colorway underneath, and that pair dropped early at skate shops on May 10th and has a global release with this pair on May 25th. But I think everyone's favorite colorway is the Lakers colorway. This seems to be by far the most popular, and that's not only because it looks good on the outside with the purple and yellow paint, but when you wear away the purple and yellow paint, you get a Chicago colorway, which honestly we haven't had in a while. I'm just so excited about this shoe. This is definitely one of my most anticipated sneakers of the year by far. I actually dig the Lakers colorway. I love the purple, I love the yellow, and yes, I do think I would enjoy the shoe if it was just a purple and yellow shoe, but I think for me the real appeal, and I think the appeal for everybody, is the wear away paint. But as most of you know, this isn't actually the first Air Jordan 1 SB with wear away paint. A lot of you guys probably do remember the Lance Mountains from a couple years ago that came in a black colorway and a white colorway. The paint on those pairs actually wore away to reveal a mismatching bread and royal colorway, which at the time hadn't come out in a while and were extremely coveted. This Lakers pair, on the other hand, has the same Chicago colorway on both sides, so I'm only going to wear away one side because I think that would be really cool to have a mismatching Chicago and Lakers colorway. For those of you who aren't familiar with the concept of this wear away paint sneaker, this shoe is technically a collaboration between Jordan Brand and Nike Skateboarding, or Nike SB. The idea behind this sneaker is that you have one colorway when you pull the shoe out of the box, and then the more you wear the sneaker or skate in the sneaker, the more the paint wears away on the outside to reveal a different colorway. That's pretty much it. That's the whole concept. And even though it's a simple concept, I think it's one of the coolest that's ever been done on a pair of sneakers. I mean, it just makes sense. The more you wear a pair of sneakers, the more it gets a life of its own. And that's really what makes this collaboration special. And as much as I would like to wear this pair for a month and just naturally wear the paint down and see how it looks, I feel like it's important for the culture. I just want to do it for the video, to be honest. But before we start removing the paint, let's do a quick review of the shoe as is. Starting off around the edge of the toe, you've got this dark purple leather panel with red edges, which sort of leads you to believe that there is something else underneath. In the center of the toe, you've got this white leather panel, which I've got to be honest, the leather quality does feel a little bit plasticky. And as you move back on the shoe, you've got another dark purple leather panel. And what's interesting is that around the eyelet holes, some of the purple paint has already started to wear off, so you can see through to the red. Weaving through the eyelets of the shoe, you've got these flat black laces that came in the shoe, but if you don't like these black laces, you do have the option to switch them out with 3 other lace colorways in red, purple, and white. Underneath the laces, you've got your standard Air Jordan 1 tongue in white, except this time you actually have a Nike SB tag at the top of the tongue instead of your regular Nike tag. Just another hint that this shoe is actually a collab and not a standard Air Jordan 1. Moving inside the sneaker, you've got your standard Air Jordan 1 sock liner in black, and you've also got this white insole with the Nike SB logo printed on the heel. But what's interesting is that this insole isn't your standard Air Jordan 1 insole. The insole of the shoe actually comes with an air unit in the heel, which is so cool to see. It's not like a life-changing thing, but it is a nice improvement to see on a pair of sneakers that you are paying $15 extra over a standard pair of Air Jordan 1s. And it does add that little bit of extra comfort in the heel, which is definitely a welcome change. As for fit, the Nike SB Air Jordan 1s fit just like any other pair of Air Jordan 1s. For me, that's true to size. For you, it might be something different. If you've never tried on a pair of Air Jordan 1s before, I definitely suggest going down to your local sneaker store and trying on a pair. It obviously doesn't have to be in this colorway, just to make sure the sizing is right for you. Continuing back on the sneaker, you've got more of that slightly plasticky feeling white leather on the midfoot panel, and then right in the center of the midfoot, you've got this dull yellow Nike swoosh. One thing you may have already noticed about this sneaker is that the purple and the yellow on this shoe are a little bit less saturated and a little bit duller than you probably expected. The reason for that is simple and somewhat obvious. Because they're painting over another color, there is a slight amount of color mixing because this outer layer of paint is thinner and lighter than the paint underneath. Otherwise, when you wore the shoe, both layers of paint would come off and the effect wouldn't really make any sense. So because there's a bright red underneath the purple comes across a little bit muddier than it usually would. And the same thing for the yellow, because there's black underneath the yellow, it doesn't come across as vibrant or as bright as regular regular Lakers yellow. That's definitely not a bad thing though, especially because it enables this really cool effect, and I also kind of prefer this duller yellow and purple to standard Lakers purple and yellow. As you continue farther back in the shoe, you've got more purple panels with the Air Jordan Wings logo in black on the lateral side. Then moving around to the back of the shoe, you'll notice that the leather around the top of the ankle also comes in that dull yellow as well. Then moving down on the shoe, you've got your standard Air Jordan 1 midsole in white, and then on the bottom of the sneaker, you've got a black outsole, which kind of works for both the Chicago and the Lakers colorway. Even though the original Chicago pair had a red outsole, I think it needed to be black to work with both colorways. But now I'm happy to say that it's time to take off this paint and let's see what's underneath. I'm actually kind of interested to see how easily this paint comes off. So I've got a pair of scissors, I'm gonna scratch at it a little bit, see what happens. It's actually not coming off as easily as I expected, so let's go grab the nail polish remover and see if that works. Okay, so it's the moment of truth. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't usually destroy brand new sneakers that I have yet to wear before I wear them, so I guess let's just jump into it. I've got my nail polish remover, I've got my Q-tips, and I've got a paper towel just in case. Actually, I should probably put this out on the table so I don't destroy the table as well. Let's start on the medial side, just in case it doesn't work. Oh, it's definitely coming off. This is gonna take a lot longer than I thought. There's the test area right there. There's the progress so far. I'm gonna take out the laces now and just do the whole shoe. Laces are out. It's time to do this. Here we go. You actually do need to use a lot of pressure, a lot more than I expected. I was thinking you kind of just rubbed it, but you really have to kind of push down on it a little bit. So I tried using Q-tips and it's taking forever, so I'm just gonna use a paper towel and just try and just go at it. See that? There we go. See, that's so much faster. I don't know why I wasn't doing this before. I'll get the edges with Q-tips, but I'll get a majority of it with the paper towel. I'm really trying to keep the shoe in frame, and so you guys can see what I'm doing, but it makes it a lot harder to clean off all the stuff from it. I'm gonna be honest, this was fun in the beginning, and now that I'm only halfway through, or not even close to being halfway through actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's not as fun anymore. And the yellow is actually a lot harder to get off than the purple. I'm kind of surprised by that. This is also a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't want to do this one. And I actually don't know how long it's going to take to actually wear this stuff off because it's barely coming off with the nail polish remover. So I took a break for about half an hour, kind of chilled, and then I went back at it again for a little bit. And this is what I have so far. I'm really finding that the yellow is just so much harder to take off than the purple. Like, significantly harder, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the kind of paint that they're using, but I'm gonna keep going. I think I'm gonna do the lateral side as clean Chicago as I can get, and then the medial side sort of more of like a worn look, which I actually think I prefer, so I kind of wish I had flipped it, but it is what it is. Ooh, that could have been bad. One of the kind of cool things about this shoe is that you can actually go for like any sort of design that you want. You don't have to do, you know, the full clean or the like the partially worn or whatever. You can literally do whatever you want. You could write your name inside of it. It doesn't matter. It's your shoe. But I think that's such a cool thing that they allow you to do. And I think that's the reason this concept is so interesting to so many people. So here it is, the Nike SB AJ1 Lakers with the paint worn off, or rubbed off in this case. This took a lot of time. This is a lot more work and a lot more effort than I expected. I really thought that it was gonna be like a 5-10 minute thing, but nah, this took like almost an hour. And that's, I mean, to get it to this level on one side. And I guess it just depends on how much you really want to go at it. So here it is, the Nike SB AJ1 in both the Lakers colorway and in the Chicago colorway. And just for comparison purposes, here it is up against the 2015 Chicago colorway. And as you can probably tell, the main difference between these two shoes, besides the obvious paint residue, is the outsole color. So as I mentioned before, on the lateral side of the shoe, I tried to clean off as much of the paint as I possibly could, which there's still a lot on there. I don't know how you're supposed to get all that off. It's really tough. And then on the medial side of the shoe, I left it with sort of a worn look, which I definitely think I prefer. It gives it a much more unique and almost like Iron Man vibe, which I really like. But as you can tell, the only real difference now is that instead of purple, you've got red, and instead of yellow, you've got black. And man, together, these look sick. I'm really stoked on how these turned out. But now let's take a quick look at how these shoes look on feet. Now I would love to know your thoughts on the Nike SB Air Jordan 1s and which colorway you prefer, whether it's the Lakers or the Chicago. So make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.